Hello everybody, this is X with DankMTG. In this video, we're going over a Legacy deck, one that's a great introductory deck because it is affordable in terms of Legacy and costs less than a modern deck. In fact, a lot of the expensive pieces have been reprinted somewhat recently and are not out of budget. The whole deck costs less than $1,000, which is budget for Legacy. This deck can actually be made for less than or around the cost of modern Burn. This is Rainbow Depths. Rainbow Depths is a variation of a classic Legacy deck called Turbo Depths, which is green-black or Golgari. The deck aims to create Merit Lage, a 2020 indestructible flying creature that can close out a game in just one lethal swing. Thanks to a change of color, we no longer need to buy Bayous. Latest iterations of this deck have gone green-white and even Naya, which may be of interest if you want to upgrade the deck. But this deck does not need any reserve list cards like Bayou or Mox Diamond, which for the cost of just one Mox Diamond is already the cost of this whole deck. Let's understand how exactly we create Merit Lage. We do that with our land Dark Depths. We are playing a set. This is a land that's so good it's never been legal in Modern because of this combo. Dark Depths is a land that doesn't tap for mana, so what's so good about it? We actually care mostly for its ability to sacrifice it and create Merit Lage at the rate of 3 mana to take 1 of 10 counters off. That doesn't seem really exciting, but don't worry, we have much faster ways of doing that. I will let you know that there are lots of ways to combo off, but seeing our line of play and recognizing when to combo off is what will make a good player into a great player. We're going to go over the original combo. It uses Dark Depths, which as mentioned is a playset. We're playing 4 in the deck, and Vampire Hexmage, another set. With both of these in play, we activate Hexmage's ability, targeting Dark Depths. This will cause its ability to trigger since there won't be any ice counters left, allowing us to sacrifice it and create Merit Lage. We do have fast mana, so we can do this as soon as turn 1. That seems simple enough, but let's go into another combo. The next combo we have only uses land, so against counter and creature removal heavy decks, this may be the best way to go. As soon as we can do this combo is turn 2, but let's look into the most common way, which is about a turn 3 combo. These lands do not have any particular order, but we do need 1 of 3 of these cards. We have a set of Urborg and 1 Yavimaya, but we only need 1 of these 2 to be in play to combo off. These lands allow Dark Depths to tap for mana. We also need Dark Depths itself and Thespian Stage, another playset. With Thespian Stage, we can make a copy of any land, our opponent's land, but mostly our own land. We want to tap our Urborg or Yavimaya with Dark Depths to activate Thespian Stage to target our Dark Depths. The legend rule will kick in, causing us to sacrifice 1 of our depths, which will allow us to sacrifice the one with the counters. Now we control 1 Dark Depths with no counters. The ability will trigger, allowing us to create Merit Lage. Now this other way isn't so much of a combo, and that's to slow thaw the counters, yes, to activate Dark Depths. This may not seem like an actual way to win, but believe me, it can be. When games go so long, you don't want to sink all your resources. Use your unspent mana to start removing counters. You'll be able to take 1, 2 counters off, and before you know it, they'll all be off. One thing I've done is to trick my opponent into thinking I can only slow thaw, and as soon as they let their guard down, I cast Hexmage. That got countered, but I was hoping it would. Then I Thoughtseize their hand, took away the removal, cast another Hexmage, and then I comboed off. Now that we understand our combo, let's see what creatures are playing to help us with our combo. We can almost single-handedly assemble our combo with Elvish Reclaimer. Even though it's really powerful, it is also pretty slow at 1 mana, waiting a whole turn, then taking 2 mana to activate and the land enters tap. Even then, it's still valuable in this deck, and do not underestimate it. Sometimes we may only need 1 activation to get the last piece of our combo. Other times we can grind out a game and even recover if our Merit Lage gets removed. The natural buff from this card is also not to be taken lightly, as a 1 mana 3/4 can apply pressure and even serve defense. Card advantage is a good thing, and that's why we're playing 1 Bob, a Dark Confidant. We can play more, our meta is full of a lot more Lage removal and land hate, as the card advantage usually helps rebuild us if our combo is blown up. Our deck is mostly low cost, well, except for 1 card, we'll get into that later, so life loss isn't that painful. Being able to combo off as soon as possible means we'll need accelerants. Elvish Spirit Guide gets us an additional turn ahead of the game and allows us to catch our opponent off guard. We almost never actually play this as a creature, but if we need to go on the Grey Ogre beatdown plan, we can definitely do that. In Legacy, we are playing spells, because Legacy is pretty spell heavy. The spells we're playing in the deck are geared to help us combo off, find our combo pieces, and some cards also protect our combo. But let's go through each one to understand. We are playing 4 Crop Rotation. This is almost single-handedly the best spell in our whole deck. Being able to sacrifice a land and find any land in our deck and it enters untapped. Usually we only need to cast one to really get the last piece we need to win. It also does fix any land we may need. There's times where we need one land or another. This will definitely help us through that situation. This being an instant means that we can give our lands that have enter a battlefield effects, such as Bojuka Bog, which we'll get into later, have flash. In a sense, you'll see the true value of this card as we go forward. Being a land-based combo, we play Sylvan Scrying, which might as well be a Demonic Tutor in this deck. We can use it to find any of our missing pieces, color fix, or grab any of our utility lands that we'll also get into later. We are so invested in protecting and defending our combo, we play 2 Pithing Needles mainboard. In the blind, we almost always name Wasteland, but as the game goes on, we can name what we see as the game progresses. Maybe you need to name Maze of Ith, Karakas, or Planeswalker to keep your opponent off that advantage. We have more free mana to jumpstart us. We play 4 Lotus Petals. Thanks to this card, we can theoretically combo off as soon as turn 1. The hand that we want to see is 1 Dark Depths, 2 Lotus Petals, and 1 Vampire Hexmage. Yes, a 4-card combo. Being able to combo off is cool, but what if our opponent has removal or counter spells that can stop us? Good thing is, we play a suite of hand-hate spells to fight through it, making our opponent discard whatever you want and gaining information at the same time. It's hard not to get value out of these spells. We have a set of Thoughtseize. Any card that's not a land for 2 life, it doesn't get any better than that. Inquisition of Kozilek is a modern all-star, and now it's in Legacy. Still able to hit a lot of great targets, we are only playing 2 of these. Duress is also played. Legacy is full of very valuable spells. That being limited to non-creatures and non-land cards hardly feels like a disadvantage. Using Rainbow lands is not only helpful to our budget, but to our options. We can now play 2 Stifles. We can usually play Stifles defensively to protect our combo pieces and Merit Lage. One example is if your opponent tries a Solitude targeting Merit Lage, Stifle it. Are they trying to wasteland your Dark Depths before you can combo off? Stifle. Your opponent trying to use Karakas to bounce back Merit Lage? Stifle got you. Now Stifle can cover a lot of situations, but not all of them. But don't worry, what Stifle can't handle, our next card can. Not of this world, and we do play 2. Believe me, we don't want to reveal this to Bob, but having it in hand is insurance that our Merit Lage is protected. Now moving on to lands, to fix our mana we have a set of Mana Confluence. Being able to tap any color at 1 life works great since we only have to activate a few times to combo off. This will go for any land, but with Urborg and Yavimaya on the field, we can tap it for black or green respectively without paying life. Because we need color fixing, we have 3 Gemstone Mines. This has all the fine points of Mana Confluence, but without paying life. Instead, we are limited to 3 activations, which is usually less than what we need. Going back to Urborg and Yavimaya, we can tap Gemstone with those out and not use any mine counters. This was a set, but I cut one out for the next card coming up. So what card is so good we had to cut Gemstone for? It's none other than Boseiju, who endures. This card has been extremely helpful as it naturally taps for green, enters untapped, but most of all, its channel ability. If your opponent has a Blood Moon or Snaring Bridge mainboard, that's okay. Channel it and destroy it. You can also tutor this to your hand with Sylvan Scrying for added value. We now have some lands that are more for common situations you may find yourself in. Ghost Quarters is played to fight through any lands that could give us issues, because it turns out in Legacy, there's a lot of Wastelands, Karakas, Glacial Chasms, and Maze of Ith that could get in our way. It is important to note why we're playing Ghost Quarter over Wasteland. This is because we play Pithing Needle mainboard, and majority of the time, we name Wasteland. So playing the card we name would be a non-bow. That, and the added benefit that it costs less money, kinda works out. Sejiri Steppe is played to protect our Merit Lage, or any creature we may need it to. Being a land with an enter the battlefield may seem slow, but we can tutor it out with Sylvan Scrying, drop it to protect Merit Lage from any blockers such as Delvers, but the real value is to give it flash with crop rotation or Elvish Reclaimer. If your opponent goes to remove Merit Lage with Prismatic Ending or Swords of Plowshare, flash and step and protect. Bojuka Bog is played to hose down any graveyard-based deck that can win its turn 1. Oops all spells, Reanimator, those kind of decks. Even though this doesn't immediately contribute to the combo, being able to keep yourself alive kinda does. Like Steppe, this doesn't have to be limited to Sorcery speed, thanks to Reclaimer and crop rotation. Let's look into some sample hands. Now, what are we looking for in a hand? First, we do want to have combo pieces, such as Deaths, Hexmage, Thespian Sage, Urborg. You get the idea, those are priority. If we don't have any immediate combo pieces, we want cards that can find us those pieces, such as Crop Rotation, Reclaimer, or Sylvan Scrying. Interaction is ideal but not required, just like Protection and Needle. Let's take this hand for example. We can Inquisition off our Urborg, then we could play Thespian Stage and Petal, crack Petal for green, crop rotate Thespian into Depths, then sacrifice Hexmage and make Merit Lage. Not bad. This one here is interesting and is testing. We can Spirit Guide and Petal into Sylvan, get Urborg, Thoughtseize our opponent, and then play Bob to try to rebuild. I do feel like that's kind of sinking a lot of resources and kind of a gamble. I think we can mold to a better 6. I would pass on this hand. This hand here, it doesn't look like much, but it is a turn 3 combo. At latest turn 4, but it can even be a turn 2 combo if we find a fast mana source, such as Elvish Spirit Guide and Lotus Petal. So a safe way to play this is you can turn 1 Gemstone into Inquisition, next turn play Yavimaya, Sylvan Scrying for Thespian Stage, next turn 3 play Stage, then turn 4 drop Dark Depth. Now that is pretty slow. To do it turn 3 just based off this hand and not considering the cards we could draw, we would turn 1 Yavimaya, not really do much. Next turn 2, we can drop Dark Depths, Sylvan Scrying for Thespian Stage, turn 3 drop Thespian and combo off. So if we do find a fast mana source, a turn 2 combo would look like this. We would turn 1 Urborg, Inquisition. Next turn, assuming we drew Lotus Petal, we would play Dark Depths and the Lotus Petal, and when we need to fire off, we would sack Lotus Petal for green, or if it's Elvish Spirit Guide, just float green. Float 2 mana based off Dark Depths and Urborg, 2 black, crop rotate the Urborg into Thespian Stage, activate, targeting Dark Depths, and combo off. So this I would keep. Moving on to our sideboard, Legacy is full of combo and blue deck. Because of that, we have 2 Flusterstorms as a catch-all for any spell-based combo decks, or just spell-based decks in general. Grave Hate in Legacy is a must. Good Grave Hate, especially in Legacy, is usually a kind that can be played for no mana at any time. Because of that, we have 2 Surgical Extractions. This actually combos really well with our Hand Hate to take any card that could come up later and extract them from the deck as a defensive play. Or we can play offensively and take any combo piece. To further protect Merit Lage, we have 2 Sylvan Safekeeper. We do play enough lands to protect Merit Lage from any spells that can target it, that sacrificing a land isn't really going to set us back, it's actually going to give us a real advantage by keeping our Merit in play. Artifact decks are getting more popular in Legacy, so Collector Ouphe is here to shut down their deck. When they can't tap any of their lands for mana, that's pretty good. Veil of Summer is in our sideboard for any Hand Hate that can strip any combo pieces, or any blue decks that can try countering any of our value spells such as Crop Rotation or Vampire Hexmage. Now problematic artifacts and enchantments can be caught easily by Force of Vigor. We have plenty of green cards to pitch before comboing off. If Blood Moon and Spring Bridge or any cards like those are holding you at bay, just pitch a green card and combo off. Now remember that thing I said about Graveyard Hate? Well, we got more. This time for decks that rely on their graveyard, like Reanimator, Boost Spot Spells, and Dredge. We have 2 Leyline of the Void. Opening hand is what we want, but we can hardcast this if needed. Now finishing off our sideboard, we have 2 Abrupt Decays in the board. Now this is another great catch-all, like Flusterstorm, for anything that has resolved. Things such as Hate Bears, Ensnaring Bridge, or any cards that can give us a hard time. You have to do this card for card, but we have 2 Life from the Loam. This is a buy back our combo and even dig for it. We can combo off, and if things don't work out, we can buy back Thespian and Depths back to our hand and reassemble. Not to mention, Wastelands are pretty popular in Legacy. Another card you can consider for this slot is Rite of Consumption. Some decks may be able to block Merit Lage, so being able to make Merit Lage, sacrifice and win on the spot is pretty good. Rainbow Depths is a deck that's fun to play, great to get into Legacy, and affordable. It will also serve as a foundation if you want to build towards another build, such as Green-White or even Naya Depths. I do recommend this for any player who wants to get started in Legacy and likes combo, and for any experienced players that wants another deck. Once again, this is X from DankMTG. I really do appreciate you taking time to watch this, and if you made it this far, I want to give you even bigger thanks. If you like, please do so. Any questions or comment, leave them down below. Till next time, you know what we always say. Stay dank.